If you stick with me and watch this movie through to the very end, you will realize that Jenna Ortega's bikini moments that sparked outrage are about more than just a swimsuit. The true story is found in what these photos say about fame, body image, and double standards. The pictures appear straightforward and everyday at first glance. A young woman by the sea, laughing with friends, taking a rare vacation from her hectic life, and sporting a stylish bikini. Nothing outrageous, impolite, or upsetting is taking place. It's a warm day and she's just living like everyone else. However, the response became deafening as soon as these images began to circulate online. As if a normal swimsuit suddenly became a deadly sign merely because it was worn by a famous person, some individuals quickly declared that the photos were too daring even for adults. Others supported her by posing the straightforward query: why is a young woman in a bikini such a big deal in a world where swimwear is a normal part of life? The comments began to exhibit a distinct pattern as more people entered the discussion. Many of the critical voices were more concerned with controlling Jenna's appearance, attire, and behavior, even when she wasn't working, than they were with respect or morals. They talked as though she had no right to enjoy a private moment without first requesting permission from the public. They overlooked the fact that there is a real person behind the movie parts and interviews who also needs relaxation, enjoyment, and sunshine. Fans and supporters, on the other hand, raised their voices. They claimed that nothing in the photos was startling, that she appeared content and self-assured, and that it shouldn't be illegal to feel at ease with oneself. You should watch through to the very end because this conflict between judgment and support is what makes the story so compelling. If you examine the pictures attentively, you may notice body language in addition to cloth and skin. You perceive someone who is not attempting to shock others or push boundaries, with a laid-back smile and easy posture. It's precisely that effortless assurance that some people find intolerable. It serves as a reminder that prominent personalities are still human beings with the freedom to pick their own style and that women do not exist to fit into a box created by others. The expression "too bold even for adults" conveys more about the viewer's attitudes and anxieties than it does about the swimsuit. It demonstrates how easily an individual's own preferences may become the norm for everyone. The issue arises when people declare, "This should not be anyone's style," rather than just, "This is not my style." Now consider for a moment how Jenna must feel about this. Imagine taking a little vacation, snapping a few amusing pictures, and then unlocking your phone to see waves of strangers criticizing your character, your decisions, and your appearance simply because you wore a bikini. That is a lot of pressure, particularly for someone who is already dealing with the strain of a public profession. An individual's emotions, self-esteem, and mental well-being can be impacted by the indignation, which is not limited to a screen. The most intriguing aspect of the narrative, though, is what keeps you watching until the very end. Jenna continued to move forward despite this commotion. She didn't express regret for being herself. She didn't choose fights with all of her detractors. She carried on with her life, her career, and her projects in silence. By the time you finish watching this film, I hope you will realize that Jenna's bikini moments are more about a woman refusing to let shame control her life than they are about an item of apparel. It's not the fabric's cut that actually raises the temperature, but rather her cool assurance. Make sure to watch the entire video, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe if this story has changed your perspective on online outrage and how we judge others. This will ensure that you don't miss our next in-depth examination of the reality behind the images that everyone is talking about.